Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex. I am a real estate investor, and today I have a quick video with you about how to never get your offer price shopped ever again. And I just want to say, like I said, I'm a real estate investor, and the reason I make these videos is to hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and accelerate your own journey, right? So, without further ado, let's get into it here. Okay, so here we go. Like I said before, I was doing everything completely wrong. I was like at like 20% of the offers that I actually sent got signed, right? And I was making every absolute mistake you possibly could here. So the biggest one that I would say is I wasn't even the one going over the contract with them. I would get their pay and their motivation, all that stuff, give them an offer on the phone. They would verbally accept my offer, and I'll be like, okay, awesome. When my TC is free, she'll give you a call. She'll give you the offer. Go, you guys will go over it together. XYZ, and that was an absolute gosh darn nightmare. So it required them to like be able to coordinate another phone call, and like that was always a nightmare. And then on top of that, even if she did get them on the phone, she's a transaction coordinator. She's not a closer. Objections come up, and that's not her job to handle for sure. So just all around a nightmare. That was 100% should have been the closer's job. So I was also not really getting all the decision makers effectively. So it would come down to like crunch time, I'm giving the offer, and they're like, well, let me ask my realtor, let me ask my cousin, let me ask um, my wife, whatever XYZ. So that's something I was definitely failing to do. And I was also not even really confirming that they were even ready to accept an offer. Like maybe that they have five other offers coming in next week, and they're not going to make a decision until then. So I was just kind of like, whenever I had a number ready, I was like, here's my number. Is this good? So just doing everything wrong, right? And it was causing me to spend a huge amount of time following up with people who I had sent out offers, and maybe they were um, just probably most of them. I'm guessing were just really not interested, but way too nice to tell me no. So they're just like not answering the phone, just ghosting me, or it's people who are like just making up stories so that they can buy more time to take your offer and use it to get $5,000 more from somebody else. So just all sorts of stuff like that. Just it was really I was shooting myself in the foot terribly. So um, also another little thing that I've come to realize is that it was causing me some difficulty if I did want the seller to do anything additional for me. So really like it kind of illuminated in my mind that the offer is the thing that they want from me, and that's kind of my leverage. And if I say like I'm not willing to give you this until you do this, or I need this first before I can give you the offer XYZ, pictures, setup access, or whatever additional information about the condition, reports, really anything like that. It's much easier to get before you give them the offer versus after. Much easier. So really, the big needle movers here, um, other than changing it so I'm the one going over the contract with them instead of my transaction coordinator, the other three, right, is you need to frame the conversation correctly. So you need to it's not like one script. I'm going to give you a couple here to use in different situations. But it's really you need to have the mindset of going into the call that once you give an offer, it's going to be a yes or no from them. And then the next step is there's no need to wait around. Like the next step is, okay, you got your phone, you got email on your phone. Great, I'm sending this to you right now. We're going to go over it together. Any typos, we'll fix them right now. Any questions, we'll answer them. And we'll get this thing started. There's no reason to wait. So you need to have that mindset and that frame of mind. Also having the mindset of, like we're giving out a lot of offers on a lot of properties, so we can't just have a bunch of offers floating out there in the ether. And having that mindset will shift the way you structure your own sentences and communicate to them. Also, when they say something that like clashes with that a little bit, you'll be kind of quick to correct them. And it's always quicker or easier or better to like disagree with them before you give them the offer instead of after, because it's much easier to handle before the offer instead of after. So that's how that's framing the conversation correctly. Getting all the decision makers there for the offer. So on that call, so one, you need to identify all of them. Two, you need to wrangle them all up, get them on the call, and then always go over the contract on the phone. So you never, ever, ever like get verbal commitment from them, and then just shoot them to your email and say, okay, yeah, just take a look at it. Give me a call if you got any questions. Like never, you don't do that. Okay, so here, this is more framing the call here. So this is setting the expectation that you don't give offers until people are in a position where they can give you a yes or no. And again, that reasoning here is, you do have limited resources, and you can't have offers floating out there in the ether. So on the first call, how you start to frame that, I don't really love that. So here's a couple of little like scripts, things to say on the various calls that are going to help you accomplish these three things, right? So this is the first call, the discovery call. You do need to get all the decision makers. So the way I like to do it is I always assume there's somebody else. There's somebody else who is an influencer or who we need to get their opinion, or an attorney, an agent, something like that. So all right, Dave, who else would have to get involved here before we are able to do a deal? And they're going to be like, oh, no one. They're going to say that 99% of the time. So you need to double confirm with them. So, okay, got it. So I always like to ask because half the time I find out I'm stepping on somebody's toes, like a partner, attorney, or agent. But that doesn't sound like that's the case here. And then, this is most of the time on that second confirmation, they're like, well, my attorney would have to look at the paperwork, or, well, my wife, obviously, or, something like that. So usually that'll come out on the second double confirmation. It almost never comes out on the first, so you need to get double confirmation. Also, then you need to get their timeline for making a decision. So Dave, if we were able to agree on price and terms, when would you be able to make all this happen? Then, oh, like right now, whenever. Okay, perfect. So if we were able to agree on everything, we could put this in writing? Yes. And then you give the reasoning here. So you get double confirmation, then give the reason. The reason I ask is that we are giving out a lot of offers on a lot of different properties, and what we refuse to do is have like 15 offers floating out there in the ether, because then if all of a sudden they all accept, I would not be able to close on all of them. So that is why we always work on your timeline and just wait until you have all the necessary information to be able to give us a confident yes or no. So Dave, what other information do you feel that you would need before you could give me a confident yes or no? And then that's essentially, you get double confirmation that, hey, if we agree on price and terms, we're ready to go, we can move forward here. So I like to put that in both calls. Like if you're following a 2-call close system, you definitely want to have that in both calls. And then now we're moving on to the offer call. So in your offer call, obviously you're going to have like an upfront contract, and this needs to be a part of your upfront contract before you give them an offer or anything like that. So, all right, I'm glad we got to have this discussion. Before we proceed, I need to let you know our company policy when it comes to offers and how that works. At this stage, I feel like I really understand what you're facing and what you need to succeed, and I do need to ask you a couple easy but serious questions. The first is there anyone else that needs to be involved in making the decision on selling the property? So again, you check off decision makers. And then they'll be like, no, if everyone's here, we're good. Okay. Now, I would like to work with you, and I would love the answer to be a yes, and I can live with a no since I am giving it my best shot. What I can't endure is the response of, I need to think about it, because this essentially handcuffs me. I can't use this money to buy this property, and I can't really use this money to go buy another property. So my second question is, if we walk through the offer and what we can do, are you at a place where you can give me a firm yes or no response to our offer at the end of this conversation? And then, so basically make them say like, yes, it's either going to be a yes or no. And you can hold firm here. Like, I'm giving you permission right now, because a lot of people are going to try to get squirrely, and they're like, well, like it depends. like, no, then we're not moving forward here. And because I know you're gonna be like, you're gonna be just like super excited to try to give them an offer and everything, and I know because it's the chance of doing a deal, but the people who are getting squirrely here are the people who are planning on price shopping you and wasting all your time and stuff like that. So you're not losing anything by not giving them the offer. So I'm being serious here. Hold firm. Don't give them the offer. Be like, okay, then we'll reconvene. When should I follow up? When should I check back in? When would you have enough information where you could give me a yes or no? But assuming they're fine here, okay, perfect. So here is how the process would work. If you decide that you would like to move forward, then I would send over our written offer to your email, and we would both go through that together on the phone. It takes about 5 minutes, and if there are any typos at that time, we'd fix them, and any questions, we would answer them. Once I get your autograph on that written offer, we could then start this process by sending over that document to the title company, so we could start the title search. All right, any questions here? So this is basically also sending the upfront contract that if you say yes to the offer, the next step is you're going to whip out your phone. We're going to do this all right now. Easy peasy. Like I said, any typos, we'll fix them. Any questions, we'll answer them. So that's essentially, those are going to be like the little scripts you're putting in your two-call close system, which is the one I genuinely prefer, to help, like I said, identify the decision makers, set the frame of the conversation, and what am I forgetting here? And then always, like I said, setting the upfront contract that we're going to go over this together on the phone. So I would be curious, what is your contract sent to contract signed ratio? And if it's not like 95, 100%, which one of these things are you doing differently, and which one would you correct and you think you could see the most gains in? And then also another follow-up question to that would be, how much time are you spending following up with your offer sents? Because for me, it's almost none. But hopefully you guys took something from this video, and if you liked it, share it with somebody else. Maybe somebody else could learn something here. And also, I'd like to note here, if you got any leads that you're having trouble closing, or you need an experienced closer to come in and help get this done, I'm the guy. I've got a hot lead submission form in the description of this video. More than happy to work with you. We'll make something out of nothing here. And yeah, see you guys on the next one.